It's that time.
It's time to announce another winner for Journey of the Secret Word. This is the first leg of our Mediterranean Princess adventure. Here we go. This has been the most controversial Journey of the Secret Word we have ever done.
That it has, for sure. So it was 11 days, so therefore we had 11 letters. We struggled to think of a word that was 11 letters, so we decided to do a 3-word phrase. Well, that was a challenge, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was more of a challenge than we expected. It wasn't deliberately set up to be difficult.
No, we really didn't try to make it this hard for you guys. We really didn't.
Yes, and we had, I believe it was around 88 was the final number of successful entries.
Okay.
So 88 people did get it. There were a few people that struggled and had wrong answers, and we suggested try again, and some people did get it right after trying.
Yes.
But yeah, it seemed that going with 3 words was a real challenge. So we did give a little bit of a small hint towards the very end for people, and it said that the middle word was by. Did we say that? I think that's what we said. Or that it had 2 letters? Yeah, that's what we said. Yeah, I can't remember. We did give a little bit of a hint that way. And if you've noticed, in vlog number 8, was it?
Yes, I believe that's correct.
We went to a certain restaurant, and I said the phrase several times. Mrs. Canucks said it once in the pool that afternoon. And the correct phrase, just so you know before we get into this, what was it?
Catch by Rudy.
Yes, Rudy spelt with an I at the end.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, it was very interesting because a few people tried to guess right from the very beginning, and we didn't have anybody get it right from the beginning. It literally took almost the entire 11 vlog series.
Well, we were pretty deep into it before anybody made a correct guess. Maybe day 10 before we got a correct one.
So yeah, we had some interesting emails and some messages. A lot of pictures even. If I get a chance, I'll put a few in here. People with the letters all over their tables and dining room. And the whole family was in for some people trying to figure out what these letters spelled.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. It became a family bonding experience for a few people. We got messages saying that they recruited their spouse and then they recruited their children. Another person even recruited grandchildren involved in it. So we're hopeful that you weren't too frustrated with us, that you still had fun. We had a lot of people say that they did enjoy the challenge, so that's good.
We had some interesting incorrect answers.
We did.
We actually had some that repeated, which really amazes that separate people came up with the wrong incorrect phrase.
Right.
I think City Hub Card was the most frequent inaccurate one.
That's true. That was pretty popular. Probably had almost a half a dozen people with that guess.
Yeah, so if you had that, then you weren't alone.
No.
so feel good about that. But yeah, a lot of people ended up with it right. It was very exciting to see so many people watching and so many people watching the videos over and over again. So again, that's never really our intent.
No.
We often we test the videos ourselves, and I often don't tell Mrs. Canuck where in the video it is. And it's been so long since she's filmed it, she doesn't usually remember. So sometimes she sees it, sometimes not.
Sometimes I don't. So there's been a few times where I've watched it and I'm like, did you put the letter in? Because I didn't notice it when I was watching it. So I'm like a lot of you, I get caught up with what I'm seeing on the screen and maybe not paying to fine detail of something hidden. But I think you've been a little bit quicker with some of them this time. Like you used to sort of, zoom in and hold the camera there a little bit longer than you did with some this time.
And there was even one this time that was kind of camouflaged. So
camouflage?
Yeah, so we didn't deliberately hide the letters any more so, but a lot of people are getting really used to it. So so we thought, well, we'll make it a little bit of a challenging for a couple letters, but a lot of them are pretty obvious, we thought, as well. So let's go letter by letter, and we'll show you on the screen where they were in case you didn't find them. Maybe you did find them, but there's some of them have a story behind them as usual, because hiding letters around a cruise ship is, for some reason, feels even more bizarre than hiding ducks around a cruise ship.
Yeah, well, we get a few strange looks, that's for sure, if we do it in a public place. People look at me with Jerry, and there's no children with us, and all of a sudden I've got this little child-sized toy block, and they're looking at me. So the first letter on day 1 of the vlog was the letter B, and it was hidden in the Elite Lounge.
And just to give a little bit of background, we often carry the letters around with us the entire day. We frequently forget to put the letters out during the day.
Does happen.
So some of you might be thinking that the letter's always later in the vlog, so we have to watch the whole thing. That's often not the intent.
No, if we think about it in the morning, we'll hide it in the morning. It's usually we're just not that organized.
Yep, but the Elite Lounge was pre-dinner cocktails, and we decided we'll hide it here because we enjoy doing that, I don't know what to call it,
happy hour.
Yeah, we do happy hour, and that's kind of how we start our evening. And so we thought we'll hide it there on the first day since we were at the Elite Lounge and having a good time.
Right.
So it was an easy win. Letter 1 was B.
B.
Letter 2 was a T.
The letter T, and that was hidden in the main dining room on night 2. It was actually hidden right in the yummy bread basket.
Yeah, right between a couple of the rolls, the letter was in there. So yeah. Yep, and so yeah, that wasn't, I don't think that was too hard to find. I think those two were an easy start, at least I hope they were. The next one I thought was going to be a little more challenging, but I didn't get a lot of messages about it being challenging, but it related a lot to one of my favorite things. And it was Love Boat.
Yeah, so we had the letter next to the television set in our cabin when he was watching an episode of Love Boat in the afternoon. So that was sort of midday that was hidden.
Yep, that was letter D.
Letter D.
That was sitting on the TV when we were watching Love Boat. So that's 3 letters. At that point, everybody had a B, T, and D. I don't think anybody had a clue what it was at that point. A lot of people were asking for a vowel. They wanted to buy a vowel.
Yes, vowels were needed.
So day number 4 didn't help them because there were still no vowels in sight.
No vowel.
It was a C.
It was C, and it was in the breakfast buffet, and I think you had it with your beans or beside your beans.
It was
Am I right?
It was beside the beans in the buffet section, so that's where it was. Yeah, so we were looking around, and that was an odd one to try to hide because there was people walking around, obviously at the buffet, and also we got this little letter and a camera, and we're trying to film it, and I think a few people wondered what were we doing. So, especially since C. Beans don't start with C, so they're probably thinking, "Oh, this is strange." If it's like a Sesame Street thing, it should have been a B for beans, but it wasn't. Oh, so that
we should have kept the letter B for later in the day.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So then, finally a vowel on day 5.
And the vowel was the letter I, which we filmed outside on the deck by the railing when we were by the volcano, correct?
Yes, exactly, yes. The volcano Stromboli was going by, or I guess we were going by it.
Yeah, it wasn't moving.
And we thought for a little while that we might actually have to say goodbye to that letter. Because it was sitting on the railing, there was a bit of a breeze from the ship moving. As you saw, if it would have moved even a bit and fallen, it would have been in the ocean, or the Mediterranean Sea, I guess, and it would have been gone. Yes, so we did manage to film it and did manage to recover the letter, so we still have an eye for any future episodes.
That's right.
Not sure if it'll be on the next, but yeah, we do have an eye. But that was letter number 5, so finally a vowel. And then came the secret spot that we found on the ship that we loved and we spent so much time at, we thought we had to hide a letter there.
So that was day number 6. Day number 6, the letter was the letter H, and it was on deck 7.
Shh, don't tell them where the secret spot is. So it was sitting on a little side table beside our loungers in our secret spot. It was actually next to a couple glasses of Prosecco that I managed to find. The art auction was just finishing off in the neighboring Vista Lounge, and there was a whole bunch of Prosecco that was all already pre-poured.
All right.
So I said to the bartender, "Can I get a Prosecco?" And he said, "No, take a couple of these." So that's how we ended up with some Prosecco right in our secret spot, no problem. So.
Right.
So then on to yet another consonant, though. And this one was the one that was kind of camouflaged.
This was a hard one for a lot of people.
This was the letter R, and the R was green. And it was in a little bit of greenery that was right near the International Cafe sign.
Yeah, there's a planter there with some big, I don't know,
Plants?
guess, not, well, greenery, yeah, for sure. Anyways, and that was where it was. So yeah, it was hidden in there at the International Cafe. And again, that was later in the evening too.
Yeah, and secret backstory to that one. That footage where that was in the planter was actually filmed way after we had finally almost gone to bed.
Yeah, we got back to the cabin that night and realized that I had been carrying the letter R in my clutch bag the whole night, and we had never pulled it out. And so we went back to the room, we said our goodnight video, and I started to empty out my purse and realized that I still had the letter in there and we hadn't filmed it yet.
So down I head, back into the International Cafe, put it there, film it, and then through the magic of editing, it appeared that it showed up earlier that evening. But really, that was the very end. The last thing we filmed that day was the R. So then came letter number 8. And this was one we actually managed to remember to film at a port. We were so excited to remember to film it at a port, and maybe because we were having such a wonderful time there.
We finally were in land. Yes. So, and we matched the letter with the port. So the letter was the letter C, and we were in Corfu. Corfu, thank you. So I'll never get it right. Sorry, guys. Corfu, and we filmed it when we had our lunch at that beautiful outdoor.
Yeah, little cafe,
Cafe,
restaurant. Yeah.
yeah.
We just sat it on the sign there next to the cafe and kind of filmed a shot with Mrs. Canuck enjoying her food, and there was the letter R. Or, sorry, letter C.
C.
A red C, I believe it was. So then, the next stop, number 9, we were in Messina. We were there actually earlier than we were supposed to be. We were tied up at the dock.
We were.
But we also had internet finally, and it was a Sunday. So we thought, let's do a live. And then we thought, well, why not hide the letter in some of the gear set up to do the live? And so that's where it was.
And that was a tricky one for a lot of people. We had a lot of people saying they were stumped on that one. It was on the tripod as we were doing the live for sure. But yeah, a lot of people were frustrated trying to find that one.
So that was a Y, which kind of was a vowel in this situation. So at that point, that was the second vowel, but still a lot of people wanting to buy a vowel by this point for sure. Then day 10 came, and finally a vowel, a real vowel.
A real vowel.
A came up.
Yes, and that was next to one of our favorite musicians that we had on board, David, when we were in the Crooners Bar watching him. We filmed it.
Yeah, it was sitting up on kind of there's a kind of a fence type of
Railing
area between the Crooners Bar and the walkway there. And yes, we set it up there behind David, and Mrs. Canuck was in the background singing along with the music, and we kind of panned across by David, and the letter A was just kind of sitting there.
Yeah.
So at that point, there was 10 letters. We were really surprised though, because still we didn't have anybody, I don't think, sending any guesses for what it was.
I think might have been one.
Might have been a couple people that were thinking they finally had it. They're just waiting on the last letter to confirm.
Yeah.
And the last letter on day 11 was a U.
And that was Halloween day that we filmed that. And so we hit it in with the Halloween decorations.
Yes.
That was on the ship, yeah.
Again, that was another oopsie.
It was.
We had to go back and film that one at the end of the night too, even though it looks like we filmed it, I think, right around going to dinner. That was filmed later in the day because, again, we forgot. We were so excited. Halloween, we were all dressed up.
Yeah, Fred and Wilma, they totally forgot to bring the letter.
So we filmed the U late in the day, and that gave us all 11 letters finally. So, yeah, and at that point we had people sending in correct responses. So, and a lot of people sending in frustration emails.
Yes. Yes, it was almost 50-50. We were a little afraid to open some of the emails because they were either like so proud of themselves they got it or so angry with us that we made it so difficult. So I'm like,
Yeah, so 88 correct entries are on the wheel today.
All right.
And we are going to do the big spin.
All right, let's get ready and spin the wheel.
Okay,
You ready?
Here we go.
Let's go.
Start the wheel. Okay, round and round it goes. Spinning around. And winner is
Sydney.
Sydney has it. Oh, it was so close. It was almost stopped on James and Kimmy Cat. We're right there and it clicked past them. So, but
Wow.
Sydney C. So we're gonna have to go back and look up and see who that is or where they're from.
Yeah.
We'll go back and check the email, and yeah, we'll get in touch. If you're Sydney C, then congratulations, you won some level 8 luggage that sponsored this contest for us.
Yes, it should be a carry-on suitcase this time, and so we will reach out to our contacts through level 8 and let them have your mailing address.
Yes, so yeah, congratulations, Sydney, and congratulations to everybody that got it right, because obviously it was not so easy this time, not by design, but yes, and yeah, so yeah, we're happy to have the next one, and I keep saying the next one I think is easier, but I didn't think this one was going to be too hard, so
yeah.
So yeah, so this was the first 11 days of our 22-day Mediterranean cruise on the Enchanted Princess, and so the other vlog series, the next 11, have already started, so there'll be 11 more letters.
And it will again be a 3-word phrase. Sorry, guys.
But I do think it's going to be easier this time. So,
but if it isn't, remember to watch our live shows because we will perhaps be helping people out if we find people are stuck.
We feel we've modified the rules for this time around just a little bit to say there's an opportunity. If we feel like we need to kind of give a hint here and there, we will. But I doubt there's going to be a lot of hints coming.
Okay.
Maybe way later after the 11th, and we've heard that people can't get it. But I'm almost confident that people will get this one much better. Yes, and again, it's related to something to do with our cruise experience, much like Catch by Rudy was the specialty dining. And that Mrs. Canuck really loved, by the way.
I definitely did.
And the next phrase is also something that one of us love. The hints are coming already. So
is it meatloaf? Let me do the math on that.
So thanks everybody for playing. It's always wonderful to see the engagement and chat with you and hear your frustrations along with your jubilation when you finally get it. And we'll try so hard to keep on hiding those letters. But yeah, 11 more letters, 3 more words in a phrase that's related. And start watching those vlogs so you can get in for the next one. I think the entry deadline will be somewhere around our group cruise mid-February, but that'll be a week or so after we have the final 11th vlog come out and you have all the letters to work with. So thanks everybody for playing.
Thanks again.
Take care, and we'll see you later.